أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum, my brothers in Islam. With regard to the announcement of sighting the crescent of the month of Ramadan, we must understand the difference between what Rasūlullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent to teach us and what our desires take over from him. The moon is sighted today, is present in the sky. But according to the Sunnah, nobody will ever sight it. The crescent is present today, but according to the Sunnah, nobody will ever sight it. In Nigeria, the sun set at 6:43. The moon set at 8 minutes after 7. The 25 minutes difference is so insignificant. The amount of radiation the moon received is such an insignificant quantity, visual sighting is impossible. But it is present. So if you fast tomorrow, what is your excuse of fasting tomorrow? If you believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent somebody with the name Muhammad to teach you the Holy Quran. Straightforward. The Quran calendar is not interested in dealing with issues on moon sighting, but only on their civil activities and functions. So it is a local affair, not at all addressing the Muslim Ummah. But why is it that they are using Mecca, al-Qura, a word mentioned in the Holy Quran, referring to Mecca, to fool and deceive the Muslim Ummah? Is that not one of the intentions of the Shayat al-Ins wal-Jinn? So consider that. The second important issue is Kalam Arab. Read it. Arab, they have many ways to express themselves. But the final reward or the final issue is the action. If an Arab wants to say tomorrow, he will say today. But he has to wait until tomorrow. So they have got so many ways of expressions. They, according to their custom, add a day in an event simultaneously taking place with another event on the same day. One event is more important than the other. The Arabs will suppress the important event and mention the less important event, because that important event is indelible. It must be done. Like what you have never understood, Jum'ah, Salat, and the Zuhr Salat on a Friday. It is Jum'ah prayer, but they mention Zuhur prayer, because you first supposed to observe the Friday prayer and then you don't observe the Zuhur prayer. Those are the funny characteristics of the Arabs. But provided taking place on the same time and the same day. Now, Qura calendar yesterday at 10 midnight said 30th of Ṣaḥābas. Today, 10 midnight, which is 12 their own time, it will be 31 days of Ṣaḥābas. There are never 31 days of a lunar moon. So automatically, today is the first day of Ramadan. But according to their civic responsibilities and duties, not according to the teaching of Rasūlullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But let me assure you, the Arabs are ignorant of Islam. If you watched another Twitter, they said the moon was sighted in one town called Tumayyar. I think it's north of Riyadh. But why only Tumayyar? Correct, let it be Tumayyar. The sun set at 6:14. The moon set at 6:34 or 35. The same, too much, not sufficient reflection from the sun for the moon to be sighted. But the question I have been asking, which I'm sure they don't know, I know better than them, because I read Islamic books. The Arabic language is not, the color being called an Arab is not actually anything superior to me being called a black man, because they have to learn Arabic language. One day I was in the medical team. I think there was cholera. I was called to address the immigration staff. I spoke classical Arabic. He looked at me, he said, look, just go to the university to understand what I was telling him. Look at this. That must have been 1979 also. Cholera or something of that nature from Nigeria. So they are not superior to me, neither are they superior to you. But we are forced to make ourselves look inferior to them. It is not appropriate to use Kalam Arab in referring to crescent sighting, because the crescent sighting is like the blinking of an eye. You blink, you open, you see. By the time the moon is supposed to be 29 days, the crescent ends. The next second is fast. If the crescent is 30 days, the next blinking, reflection, dilatation of the pupil is the fast. So to apply Kalam Arab on this relativity is wrong. So the conclusion is this: those who decide to fast tomorrow, let them remember something equivalent to that in the first 10 years, the teaching of Rasūlullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina. We are not in Mecca, where one has the right, is allowed, is free. It's not tutored, directed, guided by Rasūlullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We are in Medina, where Allah swore, as explained La yu'minuna, they have no faith, they are not believers, they will never enter paradise until they come to you with what is better than them. They want to display that also they can teach the Holy Quran through your permission. If you permit them, then Allah will accept. But it's only after giving them permission. And then they find no distress and rejection. وَسَلَّمُوا تَسْلِيمًا, and completely become flattered without any impulse, desire to reject you. So my brothers, it's your own decision. But the Sunnah is wait until you see it. And as I said earlier, it is impossible from the first day of the lunar, of the crescent, to the last day of the crescent arising from east to say you don't know the exact date of the lunar moon. It's practically impossible. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.